Welcome to this presentation, What is Mythology and Why It Exists? All right, by yours truly. This is sponsored, Leminiscent, and presented by Elenia Williams. I'll be here going through each slide with you as we go over what our next few presentations will consume. Well, will be. But we're just going to do a quick overall on mythology first. And then we're going to go into some mythology stories from different civilizations. And in those, we'll get into deities, we'll get into their culture practices, and storytelling that we use for astrology, and where you can find it in your natal chart. And because we've already connected with the chart and planets, the chart and signs, the chart and herbs, the chart and, medicinal um, reasons like illnesses and diseases, like we've gone through all those things. So these are all going to tie in together if you go over everything. So let's get into mythology. Before humans wrote history, we wrote stories in the stars. Definition of mythology is not fantasy. It is encoded memory. Okay? So, to explain creation, death, and rebirth is why mythology exists. Also, to teach ethics and natural law, mythologies exist. To encode astronomical and astrological knowledge, we have mythologies. To preserve feminine and masculine balance in the cosmos or beauty, we have mythology. To serve as spiritual technology, guiding human evolution, how we create things, how we innovate, we have mythologies. So it's a way for ancient people recording cosmic law, psychological truth, and natural order, a way to communicate what's going on in the past to be preserved by griots to carry on into the present. Astronomy observes this physical sky. Astrology interprets its spiritual meaning. Mythology weaves those meanings into story, giving it a face, name, and emotion to stars. So, for example, when Sirius rose with the sun, Egyptians said Isis returns to resurrect Osiris, which is Cometian mythology. This was both an astronomical event and at the same time an astrological rebirth myth that was being created. Long before patriarchal gods of war, the first deities were mothers, representing creation, nourishment, and the cycles of life. These great mothers, Nut, Gaia, Danu, Inanna, ruled not through fear, but through harmony. Matriarchal systems taught nature is sacred, the body is divine, and power flows through cooperation, not domination or religion. So, all of these deities or great mothers, what they have in common is they gave birth to something else. And harmony was required, or relationship, Libra, is required in order to proceed to Scorpio, where pregnancy takes place. Now, the patriarchal systems that they were taught, which was number one, nature being sacred, is basically what religious leaders will call paganism now. That's the word that they slapped on that to turn people with a negative connotation, to turn people away from matriarchal systems being revived through colonialism after they did the Catholic institutions. The rise of patriarchy. So, as empires grew, the feminine was rewritten. Okay, goddesses became wives, demons, or saints. Okay, all these personalities are being painted as, pure, bad, or trying to do good after doing bad. That's basically how they were labeling the women. And male gods became rulers of heaven and earth. So then, that's when the stories are from religion became about men instead of the stories being about women in the process of rebirthing life, because that's where everything came from. So religion replaced cosmic law with dogma. This shift created a psychological fracture still felt today: the separation of heaven and earth, spirit and body, woman and man. Why this matters today? To study mythology is to reclaim memory or water, not a superstition, but as a spiritual science. Through mythology and astrology, we remember how to see ourselves as part of the cosmos. We are one, Neptune, 12th house, Pisces. Understand life through sacred story. Okay, that's our Mercury placements, our fourth house, our roots, and restore divine feminine balance. Okay, that's the seventh house, that's our Venus placements, Juno, Ceres, and things of that nature. So, over the next few lessons, we will travel through Kemet, where the stars were gods, Greece and Rome, where myth became empire, Celtic and Mesoamerica, where the moon was as a mother, um, or was a mother, and Sumer, where Venus first ruled the heavens. Each one tells the same story in a new dialect of stars. Reflection. Which myth or goddess always called to you, and why? Write down the first one that comes to mind. We'll decode its astrological significance later in the course. For me, once I saw a picture of Yamaya, it's like everything made sense. But I didn't know who she was, but her energy was very much around. What about you?